You're listening to Answering the Call, the official podcast of the 12th Man Foundation. Our show provides listeners with an insider perspective of Texas A&M athletics and its greatest supporters. This podcast will bring you exclusive interviews with coaches, athletes, donors, and the dedicated staff of Aggie Athletics and the 12th Man Foundation. You ready? Let's dive into today's episode. Howdy, and welcome back to another episode of Answering the Call, the official podcast of the 12th Man Foundation. I'm your host, Ivy Robinson, and today I'm sitting in studio with Texas A&M softball pitcher Sidne Peters. Thank you for joining us on the podcast today, Sidne.
Thank you for having me. Howdy, everyone.
Sidne, can you share a unique fact about yourself with our listeners? Something that maybe not a lot of people know?
It's a funny one. I actually failed my first driver's test. So that's something interesting about, I guess not really unique, but something that's not very normal, I'd say. But
Yeah.
I was already super late on getting my driver's license, and I was just ready to just turn and burn and, have that free will of just being able to go anywhere that I could. But I had to wait a little longer, but thankfully the second time around, I was able to get my driver's license.
Was it
and
the
pass.
parallel parking? I mean, that got me.
Yeah, it was a whole bunch
doing
of
my driver's
things.
test.
It was really, I was speeding in a school zone. I had no idea it was a school zone, though. I wasn't in my hometown. I didn't see the flashing lights that I would usually see. But yeah, it was very upsetting. But then he told me that I was speeding in a school zone. I was like, oh my God, I literally just broke the law on my driver's test. But yeah, so.
But you survived. You
I
eventually
did. I'm
got
here.
your license.
Yeah,
You're
I have
driving
my
now.
license. Yeah, it's great.
Okay, another fun question for you. What is the most random thing you keep in your softball bag?
In my softball bag, being a pitcher, I'm super weird about my hands and my nail care. So I have just this little bag of Band-Aids, lotion, working hands, liquid bandage, tape for my fingers because my hands can get really bad and really just torn up from spinning the ball off of my hands so much. So I'd say my little hand care kit.
I've never even thought about that, but that
Yeah.
makes total sense.
Mhm.
Is this a common thing with pitchers like baseball and softball?
Yeah, I have to take my little bag everywhere with me because you never know when your hand gets really torn up. You got to be able to put some tape on there and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, Sidne, can you tell us where you're from and where did you go to high school?
I am from a small town, Santa Fe, Texas. So I'm about 2.5 hours south of College Station. I went to Santa Fe High School. Really small community, small school. Everybody knows everyone. So, yeah.
Tell me about high school, what you did in high school. Did you just focus on softball? Did you do other things outside
Yeah,
of softball?
I played volleyball and basketball during my junior high years, but when I got to high school, obviously softball was my thing, so I just wanted to put everything else aside and just really focus on softball and really just getting better because I always knew I wanted to play softball at a high level when I graduated high school, so I really just put my head down and started getting to work and really chasing that dream of mine. So,
Who encouraged you to start playing sports in general?
my Uncle Matthew, he was a baseball guy and he actually played baseball at UT. We're a pretty divided family in that aspect, but he played baseball at UT and he just always gave me great advice and it was just something that I was like, yeah, let me give it
I
a
want to
try.
pursue this.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did he help any with your
When
development
I
of
was
skills?
when I was little, he would catch me sometimes at my lessons, but it was just more like a advice thing. I remember the biggest thing he could have ever told me was really having a routine packed down, and he told me that some of the best pitchers out there, they have a routine and they stick to it, like my process on the mound and how my mental game's working. So he just said consistency is the key in that, and it's really stuck with me ever since. So
Has your routine on the mound changed throughout the years, or has it stayed the same ever since you first started
it's
playing
pretty
softball?
much the same. It's pretty simple too. I'll just throw my pitch. I'll get the ball back from my catcher. I take a pretty long walk back towards second base, and I just pick out something to look at in the distance along center field, and I'll just look at it, and then I'll walk back, give a couple, tell my teammates, yeah, like I got you, stuff like that, and then just grab my chalk, go to my rag, and then get back on the mound, get the sign, and go.
Nice. Seems
So.
pretty solid routine to me. How would you describe yourself, Sydney, to someone who doesn't know you? And second question to that, who is Sidne Peters outside of softball?
I'd say I'm really a down to earth person, but I'm not very outgoing. I'd say I'm definitely like introverted. But to like, my teammates, they probably are starting to see a little like of my funny side because if I'm just comfortable around people that I know, I can be a little funny, I think. So, yeah, I'm a very caring, kind, I care about others' feelings. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's go back to, your hometown of Santa Fe, Texas, and reflecting on your time in high school. Can you pinpoint the moment when you officially decided, hey, I want to pursue softball in college? Like, I want to do this. I want to play it at a higher
Yeah.
level.
It was probably my sophomore year. I had some difficulties of finding my identity, like my softball identity around that year, but I had switched select teams, so like my team outside of high school, and I went to Impact Gold and I played up with all these talented, amazing girls that were committed to these big schools, and I was like, oh my goodness, I want to be like you guys and I want to do this for real. So I'd say that was the moment where I was like, yeah, I want to do this just like they did.
Hmm. And what was the recruitment process like for you? Where did you initially start playing right out of high school?
The recruiting process was it was pretty crazy, like it probably is for everyone. You really want to get it right the first time. And unfortunately, that didn't really happen for me. I committed to the University of Washington, played there my freshman year. I just, nothing bad to them. I just, you quickly realize once you like leave, you realize, or as for me, like, once I left, I realized I was like, wow, like I really like need my family in the stands. That really messed with me a little bit, especially like after bad days, all you want to do is just talk to your family and the people you care about the most. But so it's been great. I don't think my mom's missed one and she'll take off of school early all the time, but they got to come to a lot of games. So it's been great. Yeah.
So family, it sounds like, is
Mhm.
important to you.
Very much, yes.
Tell me about your parents, and do you have siblings?
So my mom is a PE teacher at Barnett Elementary in Santa Fe, Texas. My dad is like an actual cowboy, and he also owns his own fencing company. But yeah, he every day he has to go to the ranch, feed the horses, the cows, check on all his pastures to make sure everything's all right. And yeah, he's just one of those guys, just loves riding his horse and, good times with good family. So he's pretty awesome.
What did you learn from just the community of Santa Fe or being around your dad who's in a rural profession? How do you think that's impacted who you are today?
I just think it really just humbles you, like just really helping out around the community. You're involved in it a lot. And my dad was, my mom and dad, they were good parents, like good strict parents. If I, made mistakes, they were gonna let me know. They just really shaped me into the person I am today, I feel like.
Okay, so Sydney, you mentioned family is important to you, and that was a big reason why you wanted to come back to Texas, and probably a big reason why you transferred to Texas A&M. But what were some of the other key factors that led you to transfer to this great university?
Family, yes, of course. Coach Ford was a huge part of it. Heard great things about her. I really felt like I had more to give from the pitching aspect, and I've really felt like she was the best fit for me in terms of she's very knowledgeable and she knows what she's talking about, but also if I need someone to say, "Hey, like you need to pick it up a little bit," like she's one of those too. Like she's not just going to sugarcoat things and. So Coach Ford was a huge reason. A lot of my friends also play here too. Like, it was great to come back with people that I've played before and just a comfortable, warm welcoming, like with them as well being here. But also, I'd say on my visit here, I got to experience the 12th man for the first time. We went to watch the baseball team play Oregon in super
Yes,
regionals. Yes.
such a good
And
series.
I had never seen anything like it. I found myself doing all the yells myself, and I didn't even know them yet, but I was like standing up and like just yelling with with everyone, like just it was awesome. It was like I was a part of this community, but I hadn't even like officially committed here yet, but that was definitely an experience that really like drawed my attention more towards A&M too.
Yeah, I think that's just what is so special about Texas A&M, right?
Mhm.
Like whether you're an Aggie or you're visiting this
Yeah.
university, coming to an athletic event, it draws you
Yeah,
in, you
it's
know?
it's really all about the Aggies here. It's awesome.
Cindy, many of our listeners are 12 Man Foundation donors and season ticket holders who come support our athletic teams and our programs. What is your message to those individuals who provide resources, who provide scholarships, who help fund great facilities for student athletes? What is your message to them?
We appreciate y'all very much. I don't think people realize how much y'all do for us, but we are incredibly grateful for you guys and just thankful for these amazing resources and tools you guys are able to provide for us, and just thank you for supporting the Aggies.
Are there any resources that you've experienced so far? You got to Texas A&M back in August. Are there any specific resources that have really impacted your success or your well-being and have helped you adjust to the student athlete life here at Texas A&M?
Just like everything. I came from a Pac 12 school, and being at a SEC school, like the facilities are so nice. And even like the new Sin Academic Center, you have your academics and like lunch, food all in one. And it's very resourceful for me. It was like after I get done with my academic check-ins, I can go straight to the cafeteria and get
Mm-hmm.
some food. So, yeah, I just say like the facilities, it's really great, and just something that makes me feel grateful just coming from a school that had nice things, but then like you get to the SEC and it's just like, "Oh my gosh, where am I?" But yeah,
Mm-hmm. Like a
very
whole different
yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome to hear. I know that Sin Academic and Wellness Center is just state of the art. It's
Yeah.
beautiful inside and
Yeah.
just the amount of resources and spaces that y'all are able to utilize
Mhm.
just to better yourself as a student and
Yeah.
also as an athlete is just it's
Yeah,
awesome.
I would say too, our strength trainers, the weight room has been a big thing for me this year too. I felt like gotten a lot stronger, and Michelle, Maddie, they push us pretty good in the weight room too. So that's awesome.
Staying on the topic of facilities, what do you love about Davis Diamond? I mean, it's
It's huge. I'd honestly say just the locker room though. We have a really good locker room environment. It gets pretty crazy in there on game days too. Lots of naps in there too. It's a great place to take a nap. So the locker room's great. We have our little lounge right beside our locker room too, so we need snacks. There's massage chairs in there, things like that. And the field, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful stadium. It's packed with people. So I'm excited to play the rest of my career here
mhm.
in Davis Diamond.
Mhm. You mentioned earlier that Coach Ford was a huge reason why you decided to come to Texas A&M. Can you describe what you've learned from her so far and why you love playing under her leadership?
I would say she's just really been a great like confidence builder in me. She really truly lets me know like I have good stuff. It's just gonna come down to like me believing in myself, and but it's just good to know that she believes in me and what I can bring to the table, and she tells me how I can succeed at the highest level in the SEC. So it's been really cool to just have her belief in me. I'd say that's been like the best thing.
Does she have any mottos or like saying she reinforces to y'all on game days?
She just talks about like really like putting our heads down and going to work, and it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the field. Just every game needs to be played like hard-nosed softball. So just say like her competitiveness is really inspiring to me because she's a coach that, just gets after it, and it's really cool to watch and really inspiring to the whole team.
Are there any other staff members who have really pushed you to become a better version of yourself?
Yeah,
And
they're all just super funny. Of course, I spend most of my time with Coach Ford because she deals with the pitchers, but Coach Harger, Coach F, they're just really funny people, good people too. They're gonna tell you, probably pick on you a little bit, but they really do mean well, and they're good people. And then Coach E, he's probably like the academic side of things too, so he helps me a lot, like say on top of schoolwork and things like that. And he's like just the person that we can go to talk about anything if we just need to word vomit for a little bit. So he's good too.
how would you describe the culture that has been established, and what do your teammates mean to you? How would you describe just the relationships you've built so far with your teammates?
Yeah, I think we have a good locker room. Everyone has their own, unique personalities that they bring to the team. I just say we're really close. We're a tight group. We're going to go to war with anyone who stands in our way. We're just a really gritty, hard-nosed softball team, I feel like, and just our togetherness is what's going to help us really win ball games this year.
So to wrap up, Sidney, what makes you proud to be here now at Texas A&M, to be an Aggie and represent this university?
I think the 12th man is like just like a huge part of it. Like I said, like it's just all about the Aggies, and it's just so inspiring to be a part of that Aggie athletics and wear that Aggies across my chest.
Sidney, when your time at Texas A&M comes to a close and you graduate from this university, what are your future goals and where do you see yourself headed in this life?
I really don't know, like career wise. If there's options for me to play pro, I could possibly pursue that. Right now, I'm just in the headspace where I think I can play softball forever. But I think eventually, like, softball is something that in any aspect of it, whether it's playing, coaching, like, it's just something that I'll probably always want to be a part of. I just don't know how yet, but yeah.
Yeah, but you wanted to stay
Yeah.
as close to the game as possible in
Yeah.
some capacity.
Mhm.
Yeah. Maybe
Pro-
coaching?
yeah. And say inspiring the next generation, hopefully. So, yeah, just probably paying back to the sport, that's given me everything.
And finally, why are you passionate about this sport? What made you fall in love with the game of softball?
It was just always fun. Softball was always the funnest times of my life growing up because I never really had like a normal life, I guess. It was always softball. I didn't really do anything else. I didn't even go to prom because we had some playoff games, I think. But yeah, it's just always been softball. It's brought me the best memories, and I wouldn't be where I am today without it, or in the position that I am today without it. So I just am incredibly grateful for this sport and how it keeps continuing to grow, and yeah.
Sidne Peters on Answering the Call podcast. Sidney, thank you again for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Answering the Call, the official podcast of the 12th Man Foundation. A special shout out to our incredible podcast producer, Megan Hoffman, to 12th Man Productions and Texas A&M Athletics NIL Department. We also extend our heartfelt gratitude to every donor and season ticket holder for always answering the call through loyal support of Texas A&M Athletics and our student athletes. We will be back soon with more content. Thanks, and gig 'em.